Hi guys, this is Bhupinder. Today I want to show you how to use my graph program in order to convert a graph which is not a straight line into x and y data. When you start the program, this dialog box would open. Here you have to enter the graph name. This time my graph name would be G2-4-9. Table value would be 0 and table name would be G2-4-9-UV. You have to give a different name than the graph name, otherwise you will get an error. And the x-axis name and y-axis name also you can give. I left it as a default as x and a y. As you can see, this information appears up in the left side, and then you have to go and click to open the graph that you want to get the data from. This time I will choose this graph G2-4-9, and I can see how the graph looks like. It's not a straight line, it's a bit complicated just to get the data out of it. So the first thing we have to do is to figure out whether this graph is positioned in a correct way, and then we have to draw a line. So click on the draw line, then select the origin point, and then you have to select the end point. And then there would be a green line drawn. There is a green line drawn on the horizontal axis, and then you can freeze this because now the x-axis is horizontal. We don't need to move it left or right. And now after freezing it, we can choose the origin, click the origin, and then give the values for origin. The x-axis for the origin is 0 and the y-axis is minus, not 0, 1. After you set the origin, check that everything's okay, and then we have to go and set our final end of the curve, which is 4, and it is incrementing in an equal space. So we just need to set another point as 4 and give that as an x-axis point number 1 as 4. And now we have to get the y-axis. So after clicking the x-axis is checked, then we can go and continue clicking on the y-axis. Since there's an increment or difference between each line in the x-axis, we have to choose each line, each point one by one, as I'm doing now. So just keep clicking on the points until we get to the top of the graph. So we have to keep clicking on each line. Each line would represent a point on the y-axis. After finishing choosing the y-axis is set, now we have to come here and type in each y-axis horizontal line the represented number. So first is minus dot 0, 1, 2. The next one would be minus dot 0, 1, 4, and so forth. 8. Then we'll go to 2. Then we will go to 2. Now we enter the number 39 on the y-axis, which is minus dot 38. And after we finish entering all the y-axis in these text boxes, we have set our graph. So next thing to do, you can check whether our numbers are matching the values that we enter in the x and y-axis by bringing the cursor and looking at the x and y-axis in the left side. As you can see, it's like minus 0.05, and it shows it at minus 0.05, and when it is minus 0.1, it shows as minus 0.1. It increases in the same fashion as the graph moves and increments. So the last point is 0.32, and as you can see, it just increases the same way as we entered in the boxes. So after double checking that the graph is set properly, now we can go and save our job by clicking on save job, giving it a name. Let's give it the name of the graph, which is G-2-4-9. Just click on the save button or enter. Then the job is saved. All our setup is now saved. Now we have to start clicking on the graph lines one by one from the initial of the curve. So I am keep clicking on the curve, and we are capturing each and every point that we are clicking on the curve. Each and every x and y values for that curve is being recorded in this fashion. So we keep just clicking on the curve. Now we reach to the end of the curve and we capture the last point as well. Now the next thing to do is to go and open the created table. So click on open created table. Now the values that we clicked on the curve should occur in this table that we would open. It would take some time to populate the data in our dialog box. As you can see, now we have for every x value and equivalent y value. You can close that, and now we have to open a new table. Let's give this new table a new value. The previous table value was 0, and this table we give a value of 0.1, and we change the table name according to the value of the table, which is 0.1 as well. We are satisfied with the x and y axis. We are satisfied with the graph name. Everything's okay, and we click OK. Now we have to go and get the values for our next curve. We will start from the initial point of the curve, which would be the topmost curve now, and we just start clicking in the same fashion as we did for our first curve. Now just keep clicking on the curve. Try to do it as precise as possible on the curve, because that would affect the value of x and y. If you would need a greater zoom, then you can use the zoom facility as well to zoom to make it even more precise. It depends how precise you would like it to be, but this program is a very precise way of capturing x and y axis. In the same manner, after finishing saving all the points on the curve, we have to open the created table, and the values will pop up in the new curve that we created, in the new table that we created. As you can see, this is the another table 0.1, and we go and immediately create a new table for the new curve, and we have to continue doing this until we get all the curves of this graph. I have skipped forward to our last curve. As you can see, I'm clicking on our last curve, and here it is, the last point on the last curve. All the lines, all the curves in this graph have been extracted, and the values being deducted. So we open the created table again, and as you can see, the values of the last table would appear as well in this table. These are all the curves that we saved from UV till 1 and all. Next thing to do is to save the database. Click on the save database. It will take some time, and it would save the database. Click on the save database, give it a file name with the graph name is same. Click OK, and after some time this graph would be saved as a database. So database is, if anyone is interested in buying this program, please write down in the comments and I will get back to you. Thank you for watching this video, and if you learn how to make a table out of a graph, please share this video, thumbs up and subscribe.